Hi, welcome to Miss Richardson's U.S. History 5-Minute Lectures. This information will be U.S. Notes 2.16, Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal. It includes information aligned with the fourth and final section of your Unit 2 study guide. Remember, you have control of this lecture, so pause when you need to, write down your questions, and rewatch as often as you need. And always make sure you're using your study guide to help you take notes and to help you study. Let's go ahead and get started. As I mentioned in the last set of notes, FDR's plan to deal with the Great Depression became known as the New Deal. This came from his promise to bring a new deal to the American people, who were desperate for change after 4 years of Hoover and this Great Depression with no end in sight. Once Roosevelt took office, he began to try new things. He came up with ideas, his advisors came up with ideas, and they tried them all. No one knew what would work. The Depression was a new low in American history. Therefore, new ideas were needed to ease the pain of it. Within the first 3 months, or the first 100 days, that FDR was president, Congress passed 15 new acts or laws at FDR's urging. These 15 acts collectively became known as the New Deal. So when you put them together, they're all known as the New Deal. This was more legislation passed in 3 months than any other time in American history, so any other 100 days, nothing like this has been seen. People had wanted action and they had wanted change, and that was exactly what FDR was going to give them. One of these acts created a national bank holiday. All U.S. banks were actually closed for 4 days. This Emergency Banking Relief Act gave the Treasury Department time to examine the banks and ensure that they would not collapse. This helped ease the fear that people had of losing their life savings. Other acts that were a part of this first New Deal included things like the Securities Act of 1933, which created the SEC, or the Security Exchange Commission, the Glass-Steagall Act, which created the FDIC, which is the Federal Deposit Insurance Commission that protects money in the banks, the Agricultural Adjustment Administration, the National Industrial Recovery Act, National Recovery Administration, Homeowners Loan Corporation, Farm Credit Administration, Civilian Conservation Corps, Federal Emergency Relief Administration, Public Works Administration, Civil Works Administration, and the Tennessee Valley Authority. So all kinds of New Deal acts, all kinds of things created, most of which were going to create jobs. The programs really focused on giving immediate help to those who needed it most. Farmers, the unemployed, homeowners. These were relief programs that Hoover had vehemently resisted because he felt that these direct relief efforts would be wasted. Roosevelt felt Americans needed direct relief to help them get back on their feet. Many of the programs were work programs, giving jobs to the unemployed Americans, not handouts to them. This allowed Americans to start to recover personally from the Depression and to gain back some of their dignity. I mean, think about living in Hoovervilles, you're going to lose some of that self-respect, and this allowed them to have it back. So this is actually the end of U.S. Notes 2.16. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you in class with any questions you have.